We wanted to start off by reading a text from your book, Maimonides' Guide for Today's Perplexed. And this is what you said. Historically, proofs of the existence of God have not played as important a role in Jewish philosophy as they have in Christian. From a Jewish perspective, it is as if who requires a proof to believe in God has missed the point of the religion. And I just wanted to get a little bit more background on that and a little deeper explanation.
Well, Maimonides thought actually that the first commandment, Ani Adonai Elohechem, that he thought that is asking you to believe in the existence of God. That's the first and most fundamental commandment of all. Now, it's a little bit odd because that commandment, literally speaking, doesn't say thou shalt or thou shalt not. So, for example, in the Christian world, that is a preamble to the commandments, not a commandment itself. Even for some Jews, it's now regarded that way. That's not the way Maimonides saw it. And I would argue, I think, that the traditional Jewish view is that is a commandment, and he thought that was asking you to believe in a monotheistic God, which throughout this podcast, we'll have more discussion of what that actually means. But look, if you don't believe in God at all, then I don't know how much the proofs are really going to convince you. I would argue, and I think with him backing me up here, that the proof, I've taught proofs for the existence of God for 40 years, at the university. So I know them all. Those are, I would say that for a Jew, those are more articulations of what we mean by belief in God. That God is the first cause of the universe, that God is a metaphysically perfect being, etc., as opposed to taking somebody who's an atheist and turning them around. I don't know that those proofs in the Jewish have ever succeeded in taking somebody that I don't believe in God, and okay, you run through the proof and they say, all right, now I believe. That's the way I would view the first commandment, and more an articulation than a logical demonstration.
So if I'm understanding the professor correctly, the professor is saying that the first commandment is not telling you to find proofs for his existence. No. Rather, it seems to be trying to point you in the direction to how to shape that belief that you have.
How to shape that belief that you had. And if you look at Maimonides in the Mishnah Torah, he says, it's very interesting, that commandment is putting on you the obligation to know. So in a way, we shouldn't use belief, to know, to be able to reason and justify that there is a God or a perfect being in the universe. So in addition to, let's unpack that for a moment. In addition to asking you to accept God as he understood that commandment, it's asking you to seek knowledge. It's asking you to seek as much knowledge as you're putting on you the obligation to learn and to study. Mm-hmm. Okay? So you, in other words, you can't fulfill the first commandment just by shouting and jumping up and down and saying, I believe. That wouldn't satisfy him in the least. You have to be able, as with all the commandments, you have to be able to justify what you believe. And to justify what you believe is going to commit you to a lifetime of study. Okay? It isn't, therefore, as simple as just a 5 or 6 step proof. And yes, Maimonides offered several proofs of the existence of God, but I don't think, again, that he's addressing an atheist so much as he's saying that if you study this material and you keep an open mind and you try to be rational, here is the way things will sort themselves out. Okay, that's very different from saying I'm going to turn around an atheist.
Right. Okay.
Beautiful. Okay.
But I mean, again, the key here is it's committing you not just to belief; it's committing you to study, to know, and that's why, in a way, people get Maimonides wrong with the anima amin. People repeat the anima. He never wrote that. That's not actually Maimonides. The way he understood that is you're required to know. Okay, the anima amin in front of all the 13 principles was added by somebody else. He wanted more than belief. He wanted study and a lifetime commitment.
Faith is more of a Christian concept.
That's the way I would see it. In his later writing, The Guide of the Perplexed, if you have faith, it's better than nothing, but it doesn't get you really close to God as he understood it. The only thing that gets you close to God is rationality, and we can discuss a little bit later on what rationality means. It may not mean what people think. We'll come to that.
Yeah, we're definitely going to come. Just to start things off, could you